don't take for a joke.
All right, you guys, let y'all come on in, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so that you guys get all the updates whenever I release video content on the channel. Shouts out to the Lions Den basketball community. Salute to my brother A Weapons. He represent midlife music forever. Go to ticketvmedia.com, get the music, the merch. And let me say this before I get into this video, man. It's kind of funny, man. Shout out to the brother FYF, man. You know, everybody pretty much knows my documented issues I've had with him over the years on different disagreements we've had on social media. But I will give props where it's due. And I appreciate him actually being fair in his analysis of the debate with me. Or not debate, the conversation I had with me and Jason Whitlock. I know he had a couple people that's on his channel that was saying, you know, these guys running around, Ticket ain't no interview, or he ain't this, he ain't this. A lot of people say a lot of things. They not none of that. You know, they don't have no channel, no subs, no views, no interviews, no you understand what I'm saying? They have no history as far as this. And they have no catalog. Over here, we do have a catalog, and I have a large catalog of people that have come up here and chopped it up with me. I've always told all of you guys, I never wanted to be on a corporate level. You understand what I'm saying? This is not something I've never came in here and declared to be a sportscaster. I've never came in here and declared to be some type of professional genius when it comes to interviewing and stuff like that. No, I'm me, and I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to say what I say. And if you don't like it, I don't give a damn what the hell you think. you know what you can do. Straight like that. And I ain't going to change. I'm going to stay the same way every single time. And we still going to get the guests. And we still going to get the interviews. And we still working on big guests right now that's coming in. And we still the biggest. So all that hate don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Because if you guys really know what's about to go down, you would shut your mouth. You understand what I'm saying? The real ones know, the fake ones hate. Period. So, anyways, let's get on to this, man. Shout out to my boy, Kwame Brown, Bust Life in the building. Y'all go subscribe to his channel. I see him down in there, man. Y'all already know. Me and him, we got more stuff to come too. We're gonna be chopping it up on a lot of stuff, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel, man. Y'all already know what he doing over there. You know what I'm saying? But I came here today because I want to talk about the situation with Carmelo Anthony, man. Sad situation, man. And Melo, shout out to Carmelo, man. A lot of people are going to get upset with Carmelo about this, and a lot of people are going to go off on Carmelo about this. A lot of people now, and I'm guaranteeing you guys this, a lot of people are going to trash Carmelo because of this. But I'm here because I'm standing in defense of Carmelo because I understand what Carmelo Anthony is saying. Now, for you guys who don't know what happened, Carmelo Anthony has a show of his own that just started on YouTube. You guys go check out Melo's show. Shout out to Melo, man. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn is the name of his show on YouTube. If you guys haven't already subscribed, his show just started maybe a couple months ago. And so shout out to Carmelo Anthony, 3 to the Dome. You already know what it is. And he has a show. He does that show a lot with Jadakiss, the rapper Jadakiss. You guys know Jadakiss from the Locks. He does that. He does that show with Jadakiss on his show a lot. But shout out to Melo. Melo put out a point. And you're not going to believe what he said, but what he said, I believe, has a lot of merit and truth to it. Now, if you guys don't know, after Melo left the Denver Nuggets, the way he left the Nuggets, and you know what, I'm going to send a big dog. Kwame, I'm going to send you a link, dog. I'm going to send you a link because I want your opinion on this if you got time. I ain't going to be up here for a few minutes, but Carmelo, and I'm going to give y'all the breakdown on this. Carmelo Anthony basically said, that, you know, he went on his show and he basically was talking about, now remember, Melo was drafted to the Denver Nuggets. He was supposed to be going to the Detroit Pistons, but the Pistons made the dumbest move in NBA history and passed up Carmelo and went and got Darko Milicic, the guy they never tell y'all about, that did not succeed to the level that they thought he was going to succeed to. He didn't do that, right? So we got to keep that 100. He did not do that. He did not succeed to the level that they pumped him up to succeed to. These are facts of the situation, right? And so Melo ended up going to the Denver Nuggets. Now, Melo went to the Nuggets. Kwame, you can check your message. I sent you the message now. You know why I be sending you a message. he went to the Denver Nuggets, and Carmelo Anthony had a great career with the Denver Nuggets. Carmelo Anthony should have won Rookie of the Year his first year. We all know this. This is facts. He should have won Rookie of the Year, hands down. No question about it. Should have won Rookie of the Year, but they gave it to LeBron James. We understand the politics. You know what I'm saying? But Carmelo had a better rookie year. His team went to the playoffs. He performed slightly better than LeBron James and should have been the Rookie of the Year that year. Not only that, Carmelo Anthony turned the Nuggets around and made them a playoff contender every single year in a tough West that he was in Denver. These are facts. These are facts. So Carmelo Anthony gets to the Western Conference, he gets to the Western Conference Finals. The team made big moves, and I know Kmart can vouch for this. Shout out to Kmart. They bring in Kmart. Chauncey Billups is on the team. Their team they got a real good team. J.R. Smith shooting from 10 feet behind the three-point line. All of these things, right? All of these things they had, right? So all of these different aspects they brought to the team. That was one of Kobe Bryant's toughest matchups against Carmelo Anthony in that Western Conference Finals. That was an absolute war between Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant in the Western Conference Finals, right? Carmelo Anthony came up a little short, and the Nuggets did. Kobe beat Bryant. His greatness just took over at the end of that series. His greatness eluded everything in that series. And so after that, the team, instead of bringing back those core guys, they broke the team up. They didn't want to re-sign Chauncey. They didn't want to bring back Kmart and give him a long-term deal and the main core pieces on that team. So Carmelo Anthony, it's like, bro, what are we doing? We just went to the Western Conference Finals. Why are we not running it back? And listen, that series went to a game 6. They went to a game 6 with the Lakers. If I'm not mistaken, they might have went to 7. I got to remember. I think it was 6, though. But anyways, that was a hard, tough series. I thought the Lakers potentially was going to lose that series at the beginning of that series, the way they started out that series. But instead of running that back, what did they do? Instead of running that series back, what they did was, running the same team back, they let the team break up. They didn't bring Chauncey. None of that stuff. They brought in AI. They got rid of Chauncey. The list goes on, right? That's what the Nuggets did. They did not want to run it back with that same team. So Carmelo, who has been loyal there all those years, was the greatest player in the franchise. Let's get this clear. There was no greater player before Carmelo Anthony than Carmelo Anthony by the time he had left Denver, the day he left Denver. The other great player that was there was Alex English in the Nuggets history. Those are the great players in the Nuggets history. Him, Alex English, you can say Dikembe Mutombo, and you name a couple other cats. But it was few and far in between, right? So until that time, for that franchise, Carmelo Anthony had done the most pretty much until that time he left. He had done enough in that 7 to 8 year span to have his jersey retired as a Nugget. He did enough in that span, right? 20 from the coming out the box, averaging 20 year one. Playoff team every single year, put him on the map, right? Western Conference Finals, everything. Team didn't bring back the same team, right? Now let's keep it 100, right? And to those who say Alex was better, he wasn't better. He didn't do more than Carmelo Anthony did for the Nuggets. You guys can't say that. You cannot legitimately sit in here and say that Alex English did more for the Denver Nuggets than what Carmelo Anthony did, because he didn't. He did not. Carmelo Anthony for the Denver Nuggets was the deal. In fact, I'm going to tell you how much of the deal he was for the Denver Nuggets. So Carmelo Anthony, ladies and gentlemen, for the Denver Nuggets, because I got to give y'all this rundown before I break them down for real. Carmelo Anthony for the Denver Nuggets, ladies and gentlemen, year one averaged 21 a game. 21 a game in year one, right? Year two, his percentage goes up from the field. He averaged 20.8. And then from there, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Year three, 26.5. Year 4, 28.9. Year 5, 25.7. Year 6, 22.8. Year 7, 28.2. Now remember, that team had went to the Western Conference Finals. They were one step away from the NBA Finals. And most people that were watching the NBA at that time thought that the Denver Nuggets were going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers and go to the NBA Finals. A lot of people thought that the Nuggets were a championship level team when they got Big Shot Chauncey Billups. Shout out to Big Shot. I know he's going through it right now down there in Portland. They lost by 62 the other night. I know he heated right now. Shout out to Big Shot Billups. Chauncey, Big Shot Billups. Salute to him. Right? And again, every single year, that Denver team was in a treacherous Western Conference. We ain't gonna talk about the Western Conference now. The Western Conference right now ain't nothing compared to the West when Carmelo was in the West. When Carmelo was in the West, he was seeing Kobe, Powell, he was seeing Kevin Garnett and the T-Wolves. He was seeing Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs. He was seeing the Phoenix Suns with Amari Stoudemire and them boys. And the list goes on and on and on and on, and sweeter than Ben and Jerry's. Right? So now we look. Carmelo Anthony wants out after they make the move and don't bring back Chauncey Billups. They got rid of Chauncey Billups. He wants out because, bro, we went to the Western Conference Finals. Y'all didn't want to run back the same team. We one step away. Y'all don't want to pay these. Y'all don't want to bring back Kmart. Kmart was a dog in that series trying to guard Kobe Bryant. Him and Carmelo was rotating on Kobe Bryant. Them was dog. And they didn't want to run that back. These are facts. So Carmelo Anthony said, when he left, you see the Denver Nuggets had hatred for Carmelo because he left. He wanted to leave that franchise. He could have left in free agency. And this is what I'm going to show y'all, and I'm going to speak truth in this, right? And shout out to 3 to the Dome, Carmelo Anthony. You free to come up anytime you want, dog. Real talk. Baby boy. You understand what I'm saying? The real ones know. The fake ones don't know. These little new fake generation chumps, they don't know nothing. So anyways, let me say this, right? So Carmelo, again, he could have left them high and dry. Carmelo Anthony was a free agent that summer. Everybody and they mama told Carmelo Anthony, just wait to the offseason and go to the Knicks as a free agent and leave Denver high and dry. Carmelo didn't do that. Carmelo Anthony forced a trade, and Denver got back assets that kept them relevant. Because remember, when Melo got traded, they kept back assets that kept them relevant. And no, Alex English is not better than Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry. That's never going to be said on this channel. Alex English was not better than Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry. He was not better than 3 to the Dome Carmelo Anthony. Sorry. Carmelo Anthony had a way better career than Alex. Well, he had a better career than Alex English. Alex English had years in his career where he averaged 5 points, 9 points, 16, 16.9, 14.9. Melo never had that, except for the last years of his career. And then he still had years at the end where he averaged 9.7, 17.9. Carmelo Anthony averaged over 20-something every single year until the year he played with Russell Westbrook. Every year. 15 straight years. 3 to the Dome. Carmelo Anthony. That's what he did. That's what he did. Right? So let's be honest. And Alex English's his accolades don't check out. See, this is the hate that comes from people when they say, oh, Alex English had a better career than Carmelo. No, he didn't. Alex English had 8 All-Star appearances. You know how many All-Star games Carmelo Anthony had? He had more. Alex English has a scoring title. So did Carmelo Anthony. Alex English was a 3-time All-NBA player. You know how many All-NBAs Carmelo made? More. So be quiet. Shh. Shoe fly. Don't bother me. And not only that, Carmelo Anthony is top 10 all-time in scoring. And if he wouldn't have been blackballed, his ass would have been top 5 all-time in scoring. If he wasn't blackballed those 2 years and missed those 2 years of his career. But this is just me cooking on truth and facts and honor in this building. Since a lot of people don't want to do it. When Carmelo, ain't nobody stood. But I stood. Because I made videos every day when they blackballed Carmelo Anthony 3 to the Dome. Believe that. And anybody that's on this channel know I did it every single day until he came back. They said his career was over. He came, all this other stuff. And then he came back, 3 to the dome when these clowns getting buckets. Everybody want to get back on the bandwagon again. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. In fact, let's talk about Alex English's career as a Nugget, right? Let's talk about his career as a Denver Nugget, right? He started out with Milwaukee, went to Indiana, right? When Alex English first came to Denver, they were 30-52. Carmelo Anthony's first year in Denver, they went to the playoffs. Won over 44-45 games, went to the playoffs. So that's first thing. Alex English first year with the Nuggets, 30 wins. Didn't even make the playoffs. Second year, he had 37 wins. Carmelo Anthony was in the playoffs his second year with the Denver Nuggets. So I'm going to slow cook you dudes because y'all don't know nothing about basketball. I'm going to put you dudes in a deep cooker. His third year, they won 46 games, finally made the playoffs just to get smoked in the first round, just to lose in the first round. They lost in the first round to the Phoenix Suns, his third year. That's Alex English, right? First round, right? His fourth year, they went to the playoffs and they lost in the second round to the Spurs. That's his fourth year. Carmelo Anthony had already been in the playoffs every single year. His fifth year with the Nuggets, they won 38 games and didn't even make the playoffs. Oh, no, excuse me. They won 38 games and made the playoffs because the West was so weak. They made the playoffs going 38-44 that next year. Wrong. Lost in the first round to the Utah Jazz. His next year, they won 52 games and they lost to the Lakers in the conference finals. Carmelo Anthony, they lost to the Lakers in 5 games in the conference finals. Carmelo Anthony went to the Western Conference Finals with the Denver Nuggets, and he went more games in the conference finals than Alex English did. Very next year, Alex English won 47 games and lost in the second round to the Houston Rockets. Yao Ming. And I'm not saying Yao Ming was on the team. I'm just saying that because it rhymed. The very next year, he won 37 games. 37 games and made the playoffs and lost in the first round. So he's making the playoffs. All these years that Melo was with the Nuggets, Melo winning 45 and up, making the playoffs. You're done, son. Adios. I put it right there. You think this rap shit a gimmick? I ain't seen Parole in a minute. I put it on their head. Facts. 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 So let's talk about Mr. Carmelo Anthony, 3 to the Dome's career with the Denver Nuggets, since you haters want to hate. Year 1, Carmelo Anthony won 43 games, made the playoffs. Year 1, Alex English didn't. Year 2, Carmelo Anthony won 49 games, made the playoffs. Alex English didn't. Year 3, Carmelo Anthony, 44 games, made the playoffs. Alex English, he finally made the playoffs. Year 4, Carmelo Anthony made the playoffs. Won 45 games with the Nuggets. Year 5, Carmelo Anthony won 50 games. 50 games. 50 games. Made the playoffs. Year 6, Carmelo Anthony won 54 games. Went to the Western Conference Finals. Played against the Los Angeles Lakers and won 6 games. Alex English played against the Lakers and won 5. You want me to keep cooking? Very next year, he won 53 games. Very next year, Carmelo Anthony won 53 games with the Nuggets. See how easy these dudes is to beat, y'all? The next year, they won 50 games. If you go look up Carmelo Anthony's all-time career record with the Denver Nuggets, his career record is better. His averages are all on par. More all-star selections. More all-NBAs. These dudes is haters on YouTube. I just come with the facts. I just come with the facts. Right? So anyways, let's get right to it, right? So Melo, he leaves Denver, but doesn't leave him high and dry. He forces a trade. Denver got great pieces back in that trade so that they could stay relevant. Because if Melo would have left and would have left Denver high and dry, they would have had nothing because Melo was a free agent that summer. He could have walked out, left as a free agent, and then came. Right? He could have walked out, left as a free agent, and then came. Right? So now, then, let's talk about this. Right? Then, years later, the Nuggets get Jokic. Right? And because in between that time, the Nuggets had so much hatred for Carmelo, they wouldn't even mention his name no more. In between, before Jokic even came, this started with Carmelo and the Nuggets. Before Jokic even came, this started between Melo and the Nuggets. Before Jokic came, this started between Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets before Jokic came. So when Jokic came, the Nuggets wanted to be disrespectful to Carmelo Anthony's legacy, and they gave Jokic his number on purpose. And Melo has exposed this. This is facts. He said he believes that Denver gave Jokic the number to erase his legacy. Because remember, Denver said they would not retire Carmelo Anthony's jersey, and they basically erased him from the legacy history books in Denver Nuggets history, which was absolutely disgusting. When they have their Denver Nuggets Ring of Honor, they don't even invite Carmelo Anthony off the hatred that he left. When the man could have did him dirty and left in free agency, and they got nothing in return. They got nothing in return, right? Even the Knicks treat former players better than Denver did. Even the Knicks treated players better. Former players that they had issues with, the Knicks treated better. They treated better than the Nuggets treated Carmelo Anthony. These are facts. These are facts. And there's so much hate for Carmelo Anthony in these streets. I don't understand. And it's for the life of me. I can't understand why so many people hate a dude. See, it's easy. Y'all say y'all hate a dude. Oh, Ticket, man, I don't like you, man. You loud, this, that, and the third. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Whatever. Say what you're going to say. It is what it is. I don't care. Don't bother me. Small thing to a giant, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Believe that. Small thing to a giant. I'm a monster for real. You understand? In this thing. Believe you me. Hey, you got dudes on you talking. You can't do what I do. You can't do what I do. And I do this on my own. I don't need no high corporate network or none of that stuff. I do this off the strength of the muscle. When I get on the phone with the homies, I call them up the strength of the muscle. The strength of the muscle, period. Off the strength of respect. You feel me? That's a fact. I don't have to go and be cut no check by no man up here, no network, and have to tone down what I do because I have to do what they want to do. No, I do my thing on my channel, on my network. I've built my own lane. These are facts. This is the same thing. And Mr. Young Aku says, stop praising losing. Well, isn't that all Alex English did? Alex English never won anything in Denver. What did Alex English win in Denver? Shout out to Alex English. What did he win in Denver? Mr. Young Aku? Okay, sit down. I'm going to let you think about it for about 24 hours. You in timeout. What did Alex English win? See, this is what y'all want to do. Y'all want to demean people. Y'all want to demean people and bring people down. And I'm going to tell you something. And Melo spoke about that. He spoke about how they tried to erase his name from the history books in Denver. And that wasn't right. Because he went over there from day one. He did his job. They went to the Western Conference Finals. They didn't want to run back the same team. Why are you upset? If the man sat up there and saw that they went to the Western Conference Finals, you played Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. You had Chauncey Billups, Kenyon Martin, and all them dudes on the team, and the team did not want to pay those guys and bring them back. Why then would he want to stay if you built up all this time to this point? By this time, I want us to keep the team together and keep moving forward. But see, here's the hypocrisy with y'all. When LeBron James say, "Oh no, I don't like this unit. I want y'all to keep our unit and make moves." Y'all don't have no problem with that. But when it's Carmelo Anthony, it's so much hatred and vitriol here for this man. When this man he don't talk down on nobody. And here's a man right here who played in the league against him. So let me ask you, sir. What was Carmelo Anthony's reputation? Did he have a reputation of being a snake? Did he have a reputation of being a loudmouth? Did he have a reputation of being disrespectful? Why do so many people have hatred for Carmelo Anthony, bro?
Because they have love for LeBron, and he's a guy who came in LeBron's year. And like you said, he should have been the Rookie of the Year. So we have this thing in our culture where in order for one to be on top, they have to bring another person down. And so that's why they talk about Kobe the way that they do. That's why they don't want to mention Carmelo Anthony, because he was right there with LeBron. So I don't know why they both can't be looked at as great. I just don't get it.
They tear this man. They say, "Oh, well, he ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't this, he ain't that." The man went to a franchise that was losing and made him a playoff contender every single year.
Yep.
from year one. From year one.
Something that LeBron didn't do until he got different type of players.
Come on, in year 3. LeBron didn't make the playoffs till year 3. In the East, which was a weaker conference at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So you in the conference, you and Carmelo, you in the conference with the dogs. You seeing Tim Duncan and the big 3 over there.
Yeah.
Ginobili, Parker. You seeing Kobe and Powell. At that time, Kevin Garnett was still over there with the T-Wolves. They was winning 50 games.
Yep.
You still had the Phoenix Suns was legit with Amari Stoudemire over there.
Mm-hmm. That West was so stacked that an AC would come out East and come on and have damn near a 4 or 5 game win streak. And that's the AC.
Right. So Carmelo said, shout out to Melo, man. He said, and he told the truth. When Melo left, bro, he could have did 2 things, bro. Like, they built the team. And that team went to the Western Conference Finals. Him, Chauncey Billups, Kenyon Martin, all those guys, they went to the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Carmelo has said in the past the reason why he left Denver is because he wanted the ownership to keep that team together, keep those players together. But the ownership didn't want to give Chauncey an extension, and they didn't want to keep Kmart and all those dudes and keep that team together. So that is the reason why he decided that, you know what, let me just leave. He could have did him dirty because he was a free agent at the end of that season. He could have did him dirty and walked and went to New York, and they got nothing in return. What did he do? Yeah. He forced a trade, and they got assets in return that helped Denver stay relevant. Denver was still a playoff team this whole time. If Carmelo would have just left the team, Denver would have been in trouble because they would have got no assets for him, man.
Right. And they still get this man a bad name and doing things like that. That's crazy to me. But Melo just got he wasn't the chosen one. LeBron has always been the chosen one, and anybody else in that draft class, LeBron got to look like he's that much better than. And we all know that from a skill standpoint, LeBron is not. From a skill standpoint, I don't think he's better than Melo. But overall, he's a better player. But from a skills standpoint, Melo had it all.
Yeah, no doubt. And you had a guy in here says the Denver Nuggets would have been just fine. That's a lie. The Denver Nuggets had gotten rid of Chauncey Billups. Kenyon Martin was out of there. They was getting off of AI at that time because him and what you call didn't work out. And the rest of the roster was in shambles. If Carmelo Anthony would have left, they wouldn't have got all those pieces. They got all those pieces from the New York at that time. They got Danilo Gallinari, a whole lot of other guys that were younger at that time. That Danilo Gallinari went over there and averaged 20 a game when he went to the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Danilo Gallinari went to the Nuggets and averaged 20 a game. If Carmelo Anthony would have just left the Nuggets at that time, and you didn't have Chauncey, you didn't have JR, you didn't have none of those other guys that was on the team, Kenyon Martin. Bro, that team would have been in shambles if Carmelo would have just left them like that. Because now you lost a big asset and you didn't recuperate assets for that. Mm-hmm. So now let's get to the point where he left, man. So Carmelo, once he saw the play, you go 6 games in the Western Conference Finals with Kobe. Y'all don't want to run it back with the same team. Y'all don't want to pay Chauncey an extension, keep Kenyon Martin, and keep the team together and run it back. Now y'all want to blow the whole team, all the pieces up. Now he says, you know what? It's time for me to go, man, because I want to keep the team together and compete again. We just went to the Western Conference Finals. Why are we breaking it up? So now he forces a trade, and now all of a sudden the Denver Nuggets organization kicks him out of the whole organization. He's not in the Ring of Honor of that organization. And this is before Jokic came in the league. They didn't acknowledge him no more as a Denver Nugget. This man put in 7 years of service, excellent service with that team, made him relevant. NBA was making money off of him, TV games every single year. They put him and LeBron James up against each other at that time. Remember, him and LeBron was on the same time frame when they came in the league going up. So both guys were marketed against each other. They made a lot of money off him over there. Yeah. So he leaves. They don't want to retire his jersey. Okay, cool. He didn't win a championship. No problem. But Melo says, you know, he hadn't been invited to any events. Anytime they acknowledge the greats, they don't say anything about Carmelo Anthony's name, but they say dudes who did lesser than him or played lesser time than him in the organization. See what I'm saying? This is the pure hatred. And I'm asking you, bro, because you played in the NBA in the same timeline as Carmelo Anthony. Did you see anything from Carmelo Anthony or hear anything about him that would make you think, hey, man, this is a bad person. This is a bad teammate. This is a bad professional. This is just a bad dude. He don't deserve to have nobody to defend him or talk good about him.
He had a crew of solid dudes around him. He was always solid. He was mostly quiet. or either joking. So he was always cool. I never heard one bad thing about him. I think what you just said was key, and you might have missed it. You said he was marketed against LeBron. And that's one battle you're not going to win because they have marketed LeBron in a way that if you even compare him to somebody else, his fans are going to tear him apart. They automatically split the room like that. So instead of respecting and liking both of these guys, people pick a side, and that's what people do all the time. They just pick sides, and that
Yeah.
that, that
So,
was detrimental to his career, if you ask me.
and listen, for a dude who don't say much or nothing, he get the most hate I've ever seen before in life, bro. I don't think I've seen an NBA player who his nickname really embodies who he is, Melo, because he
Yeah.
really has a mellow personality. He doesn't really say much. I don't
Nope.
understand why this dude got so much hate and so much envy. You understand what I'm saying?
Because
Thrown at
he's
his
not he's not going to be the type of guy that's going to be at your parties being sociable and he's not marketable in that sense because he ain't going to do none of that weirdo stuff. I'm gonna tell you that now. So um, I can see why the industry wouldn't like him because yeah, he's more of a quiet, laid back, and there's certain things that he's not going to do.
right. So now let's fast forward. So again, he could have left the franchise high and dry because at the end of that season, he was a free agent. Everybody was telling him, look, just wait and go to the Knicks next year as a free agent. You know what I'm saying? But that would have left the team high and dry. They wouldn't have got no assets for him and they'd have lost him for nothing. Instead, he forced himself a trade there midway through the season. And that team was able to get back assets from the New York Knicks that kept Denver relevant throughout that period of time between then and time they got Jokic. Because remember, Denver was still a playoff team. They were still a tough team. They still had Nene and all those other big dudes over there. They still was a solid team after they made that deal that sent Melo over to the New York Knicks. So Denver
Yeah.
was a solid team that whole time. So
Mm-hmm.
now, when he forces his way and goes to New York, now the hatred is real, right? So Jokic comes in. So now in a few years, Denver, they correctly build up the team around Jokic because Denver's always been good with trying to build teams for the last 20 some years. They built a team around Jokic, and Jokic delivers the goods. But what Melo said from day one, they gave Jokic his number, and he felt like they did that because they wanted to erase the memory of his legacy. Now, peep this, and this is why you can't say that he's hating, because before Jokic even came in the league, Melo was talking about how the Denver Nuggets had basically thrown him out of their ring of circle of just honor as far as being a part of the franchise. And again, here's a perfect example of that, bro. How many players you see come back with the Knicks that only play like 3 or 4 years with the Knicks? James Dolan bring him back, have him sitting in there in the garden.
Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell didn't play his whole career with the Knicks. He has Sprewell in there all the time whenever you want to come in there. And he
Yeah.
treats some of the other players the same way that play for the Knicks organization. But this organization with the Denver Nuggets, this man played 7 years with that organization. From day one, had him a playoff team. They don't even recognize him. They don't even say his name when they talk about the greats. When they was in the NBA Finals, they didn't mention his name one time with the great. They had all the other Nuggets greats up there. They didn't mention Carmelo Anthony's name one time with the Nuggets greats.
So
How do you feel about that?
what do you think it is that soured that bad? Like the only thing that I can think of is this is not because he did do the right thing. Like you said, he could have left him high and dry. I don't know. Maybe he cursed out a few coaches, management. You never know what happened internally because what go on in the locker room should stay on in the locker room. But it sounds like it's personal to me. If it's not a league wide thing where they're just trying to suppress Melo, and or if it's not that, then that team has something personal with Melo. And maybe they just pissed off that he left. Period. I don't know if they thought that he was their property, but you know, people get traded every day, so it shouldn't be that serious.
Do you think it's wrong that they don't even acknowledge him like no more? And he's one of the great all-time players that's played there. Like they don't have a
Absolutely.
long list of guys. It's him, Alex English, Mutombo, who I think Dave Bing, somebody like that. That's it. Jokic,
Yeah.
Murray. Those are the legends in Denver right now. They
Yeah.
don't even mention him and none of those other guys' names. So they'll mention guys who didn't win championships like Alex English. They'll mention all those other guys, but they won't mention him. They will not mention Carmelo Anthony, bro.
It sounds like it's personal to me. It got to be something personal because you can't be that mad after this many years over a trade. The man has been traded. You would think that they would make amends by now and have Carmelo in there at some point. It would look good for the city.